Well, there we go. Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for tonight's coverage of the Thunderstruck Super Series SamAllyCo Late Model Series. Tonight, these late models will be taking on Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for 100 heart-pumping laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight. My name is Atlee Atman-Weiss, and I'm excited to call every second of tonight's white-knuckle short track racing. Now, it's been a few weeks since we've been on track here with these Thunderstruck drivers. We had a little bit of a break for the holidays, but we are back. The last race we had was back on the 21st of December at Langley Speedway, where we saw Josh Oswald grab his first win of the season. He led 76 of the 100 laps, and he had the fastest lap time of the race after starting on the pole. Finishing second was John Bennett. Third was Matt Tilder. Finishing fourth was Rick Rube. And rounding out your top five, that was Mason Gerdes. Your other lap leader was Jacob Derrick, who led 24 laps. Now, after the events of Langley, here's a look at your point standings. Josh Oswald is your point standings leader with his one win this season, but it's a tight race for the point standings lead. He only has a 7-point lead over second place. Actually, we have a tie for second. Jacob Boehm and John Bennett, they are tied for second, and both of them are only 7 points off of Josh Oswald. Then in fourth, that is Mason Gerdes, and rounding out your top five, that is Kieran Church. I want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, SamAllyCo. SamAllyCo is where art and expression comes to life. You can step inside their curated collection of artful home decor and accessories designed to add personality and spark conversation in your everyday life. They believe that decor and accessories should be a reflection of you, filled with pieces that tell your story and inspire joy. Go visit their Etsy store. The link is in the description, and browse a vast collection of unique and expressive items. You can use the promo code ATMAN10 and get 10% off your order. And if you use the link that is in the description, I believe it automatically applies it to your order. But yeah, if you use promo code ATMAN10, you can get 10% off of your SamAllyCo orders. We're wrapping up practice here. Eric Tracy on the top of the board with a 19.50. That puts him 400ths ahead of second place Dylan Bates. Third is Josh Oswald. Fourth is Rick Rube. And rounding out your top five here in practice as we wrap up, that is Kyle Martinson. All right, qualifying underway here. And I actually made a mistake when I was getting into the broadcast. I got in as a driver, and it will not let you view others qualify as you get in if you get in as a driver. So I apologize for that, because I will not be able to show any of the action from qualifying here. So we'll just be this rotating kind of scenic view of Nashville. But as the times come up on the board, I will be able to tell you what's going on here on track. A little bit of information about Nashville Fairgrounds. It is the oldest continually operating track, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee. It's been operating since 1904. This 3/5 of a mile speedway has been thrilling fans and hosting great competition for well over 100 years. As a matter of fact, this racetrack is older than the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway by only 5 years, and this track has had 9 name changes, which is more than any other track in the world today. Like I said, it is it's a point. It's 6/10. About 6/10 of a mile, and the owner is the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. It's got a seating capacity of 15,000. Some of the nicknames include the Track of Champions and America's Favorite Short Track. Again, it opened on June 11th, 1904. 18 degrees of banking in the turns. This is a very fast, very high bank track, and 3 degrees banking on the straightaways. Got some action going on in qualifying here. Again, I apologize, we won't be able to show any of the racing action because I made the mistake of accidentally joining as a driver. I apologize for that. But Dylan Bates on the top of the board with a 19.46. Less than 100th of a second separates him and Eric Tracy, but looks like Bates just a little bit faster. Kyle Martinson in third, Rick Rube fourth, and John Bennett rounds out your top 5 currently. Kieran Church, Jake Bames still need to turn a qualifying lap. There you can see the city of Nashville, those skyscrapers with that backdrop there. That's a really cool view. There you can see the canopy over the seats here at Nashville Fairgrounds. And of course, the cars that we are racing tonight are the late model stock cars used in series like the ZMAX Cars Tour and throughout the Carolinas. The late model stock cars, an important step in the career of many of stock car racing's top stars. The names that have progressed through the series on the way to national level glory range from current NASCAR Xfinity Series frontrunners like Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, and Myatt Snyder, to NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series drivers like Haley Deegan and Christian Eckes, and even 2023 NASCAR Cup Series rookie Ty Gibbs. The late model stock cars powered by a 350 cubic inch engine. Both crate and custom engines are available that produces well over 400 horsepower. Fiberglass body panels help keep the car on the lighter side, but are still durable enough to take on the full contact nature of short track racing. Late model stock car racing puts on some of the best shows in short track racing anywhere it goes, and the ZMAX Cars Tour takes them to many of iRacing's most popular short tracks like Southern National, Hickory, Langley, South Boston, and North Wilkesboro. I've seen the Cars Tour race multiple times at two tracks. And, I mean, the Cars Tour, they put on a heck of a show. Those late model stock cars are bad to the bone. If you haven't checked out, if you're in the Carolinas, Virginia's area, South Carolina, and you haven't seen a late model stock car race, you got to check it out. Because, I mean, those cars are awesome to watch. And some of the best come out of that Cars Tour series and up into ARCA and the Truck Series after that. Connor Zillich, who just signed a Trackhouse deal. He's from the Cars Tour. And a few others. I mean, if you go through some of the most recent signings, then you'll see, I mean, just how many drivers in NASCAR have come up from the Cars Tour. And all right, qualifying wrapping up. And it looks like Dylan Bates will be on the top of the board. There's a little rundown of qualifying you can see there. And these drivers going to have a little bit of a warm-up just to give them an opportunity to get their cars dialed in for the final time before we begin our feature event. There's John Bennett heading around the racetrack in that 08 Miller machine. We got the 9 of Josh Cole. He's rocking a Lexus. Look at that. We got a Honda as well. Looks like that's the Grifdozer. So a few fun manufacturers here in this race. It looks like in this warm-up, Kieran Church to the top of the board with a 19.52. That puts him about a tenth and a half ahead of Eric Tracy. Then we got third, John Bennett. Fourth is Alex Veith. Oh, up to third, there goes Kyle Martinson. Now fourth is John Bennett. Rounding out your top 5, that is Alex Veith. As I say that, there goes Devin Schmidt to 4th on the board. John Bennett falls to 5th. This is going to be a fun one. Field very tight. Again, if you look at the qualifying results, top 5 all separated by less than a tenth. We see a lot of parity in this field. At least in the top 5, this will be a close battle for sure. So there we go. Checkered flag is out on the warm-up. And we are getting set to go green flag racing here. All right, we are gridding for our 100-lap feature event. Let's take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's event. Starting on the pole with a 19.462. That is the 91 of Dylan Bates. Outside of him in the 66, that is Eric Tracy. And third, that's Kyle Martinson in that 07 fourth. That's going to be the 81 of Rick Rubin. Rounding out that top 5, John Bennett in the 08. Then in 6th, that is the 9 Cole World Racing driver of Josh Cole. 7th is Kieran Church. He's a Velocity Motorsports driver in that number 22. 8th is the 17 Velocity Motorsports driver of Josh the Jet Oswald. 9th is Reaper Racing's William the Griffdozer Griffith in the 12th. And rounding out your top 10, that is the 6 Oval Addicts driver of Tyler Rice. 11th is Alex Veith, and driver for Dark Horse Motorsports in the 51. 12th, that is Devin Schmidt in the 88. And there we go. And then, 13th, Aaron Ward, and 14th will be Jake Boehm. All right, here we go. Coming to the green next time by, we're going to take a parade lap around the track, give these drivers an opportunity to get some heat in those tires, because you definitely don't want to be going into turn 1 with cold tires. That is for sure. But again, we got Dylan Bates starting on the bottom with Eric Tracy on his outside. Behind them, second row, Kyle Martinson, Rick Rube, there's John Bennett. We got a stout field of late model stock cars, all with a chance to win. Who will it be? Can Jake Boehm get his 3rd win? Will Josh Oswald grab 2 in a row? Or will we have a new driver break into the win column? Time will tell. Let's see what happens here. All eyes are on the iRacing pace car. He makes that left turn onto pit road. Green flag is in the air, and your Thunderstruck SamAllyCo Late Model Series feature event is underway here at Nashville Fairgrounds. We see Bates able to clear Eric Tracy through 1 and 2. We are now side by side for second with Kyle Martinson with the nose over Tracy. He clears him. Rick Rube looking underneath that 66. Tracy on the outside. Floodgates opening. He's falling like a rock as Rick Rube clears him up off of turn number 4. John Bennett trying to get by Eric Tracy now as they head through turns 1 and 2. The battle is on for first. Kyle Martinson trying to track down Dylan Bates for that lead. He's got a nice run off of 4. He looks underneath him on the front stretch. They're door-to-door as they cross the start-finish line, and Martinson clears them by the time they reach the center of 1 and 2. Kyle Martinson with the fastest lap time of the race with a 19.96. Dylan Bates now falls to that 2nd place spot. Rick Rube running there in 3rd. 4th, Eric Tracy. Rounding out your top 5, that is Kieran Church. But Kieran Church under pressure from William Griffith on his back bumper. And we see Church also reeling in Tracy in front of him. This could be a good battle here as we see Church trying to find a way to get by Tracy, looking to see where he's potentially giving up that bottom. Looks like a few drivers not running directly on that yellow line. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, a very bumpy track. especially if you're running on that bottom. So it can be kind of hard to run there all the way on that yellow line on the lowest groove. Right now we see Kieran Church having to play offense and defense, but the whole field starting to reel each other in. We see Rick Rube trying to track down Dylan Bates for this second place spot. The gap between them is about 2/10 right now. And like I said earlier, what Rube trying to do, just looking to see where Bates is giving up that bottom and trying to find a way. So if he's potentially giving up the bottom a little bit on entry, he's got to try to find a way to just have a nice exit and have good enough momentum to get him into entry. If he's pushing up on entry a little bit, he's got to try to find a way to, and there we go, Eric Tracy looking underneath Rick Rube right now. Tracy to the left rear as they head through 1 and 2. Tracy now able to get clear as they head off of turn number 2. So that's 66 in that third place spot on the podium. He is 1 spot away from where he started this race, now setting his sights on the 91 of Dylan Bates. And there goes Kieran Church, or at least he was looking underneath the 81. It looks like Rick Rube may be fading a little bit as we see Church tracks him down very quickly. He may try to make the pass on entry in the 3 here. Not yet. He continues to stick behind the 81 for the time being, and Church still has the 12 of William Griffith all over his back bumper. Or at least he was there. So now Rick Rube trying to find a way to reel Dylan Bates back in for this third place spot. Looks like Eric Tracy got by Bates up to the second place spot now. Rick Rube trying to track down Dylan Bates for third here. Bates has gone from the pole to third in only 11 laps. Not the start to the race that Bates wanted. And here comes Jake Bain, who has been working his way up to the field. He's underneath Rube, and now he's looking underneath Dylan Bates for this third place spot. He's had to gain 11 spots since the green flag came out. And we see Jake Bain able to clear Dylan Bates, and he slides up into that third place spot. The battle is on now for fourth as we see Josh Cole able to get by Dylan Bates, and the floodgates open for that 91 machine as we now have Kieran Church, and it looks like Tyler Rice about to get underneath him as well. He's trying his best to get down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Bates is able to get clear, but Church is right there looking to try to knock Dylan Bates out of the top 5 after starting on the pole. I mean, we've got a whole gaggle of race cars going from about 5th to 11th. Jake Bain got a fast hot rod on the track right now. He's definitely the fastest car on track. He is tracking down Eric Tracy very quickly for this second place spot. That time by, he was about a 10th faster than Tracy, and looks like he's running a lower line than Tracy going through the corners. He's able to get a little bit lower, especially on exit, and that's how he gets to that left rear off of turn number 4. At least he was there. He's going to dive it down to the bottom through 1 and 2. They're door-to-door, and Bain motors by into that second place spot now. Jake Bain setting his sights on your third place driver, first place driver now, Kyle Martinson. He's reeling them in fast. I mean, Jake Bain has a rocket ship at the moment. He started in the 15th place spot. He did not qualify, and he's had to work his way up through the field, and here he is now, about to get by Kyle Martinson from this race lead. He's worked his way from the back to the front, and he can get by Martinson probably around 20 laps. So this has been a very impressive run for Jake Bain thus far in this race, and his trek to get to Kyle Martinson is interrupted as we have a yellow flag on track. Let's take a look at what happened here. We're watching Josh Oswald, who was running behind the 81 of Rick Rube. It looks like this happens in front of him as they head into the corner. Looks like Rick Rube Just gets into the back bumper of that 51, sending him sideways. Alex Veith not able to save it. That's what brings out our first caution of the race. And I don't know if Alex Veith slowed up and started braking into the corner more than Rube was expecting, or Rube really just sent it in to the corner, and that's how he got into the back bumper of Veith. But that's, regardless, that brings out our first caution of the race at lap number 20. Alex Veith in the back of the field right now. He'll have to work his way back up through the field here. Looks like John Bennett heading down onto pit road right now. I don't know if he has some damage that he's trying to get fixed. There are no tires. Yeah, looks like he just kind of took a fast repair there. But thus far, Kyle Martinson, after grabbing the lead from Dylan Bates, has led this race. But Jake Boehm, he was hard charging up to that front. And I think he should be able to, if he can maintain the speed that he has had, I think he should be able to get by Kyle Martinson on this next restart here. And this is a good race for these late model stock car drivers because it's going to prepare them for 2 weeks from now. Kern County, another high banked track. Kern County, I believe, is banked even more than Nashville Fairgrounds. I'm not sure, but yeah, this should help prepare these drivers for Kern County. It'll be in 2 weeks from now. Lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green. Kyle Martinson restarts on the bottom. Jake Boehm on the top. Behind them, that's Josh Cole, Eric Tracy, and rounding out your top 5, that is Dylan Bates. Here we go. Pace car is in. And green flag is back in the air. Kyle Martinson up through the gears, leading the field into turns 1 and 2. He is able to get clear over Jake Boehm. Boehm tucks in line into second. We see Eric Tracy tucks in line into third. And now we resume the battle that we saw before that caution flag came out as Jake Boehm tries to reel in that 07 for this race lead. Behind them, we see Josh Cole trying to get underneath the 66 of Tracy for third. He gets to his door. They're door-to-door off of turn number 2. And Cole trying to clear him by the time they reach 3 and 4. Yes, he does. Josh Cole onto the podium now in that 9 machine. Tracy falls to third, and he may very well lose a spot as well to Tyler Rice. Last time by, as Kyle Martinson is being chased by Jake Boehm. He ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 19.74, but Jake Boehm ran his personal best lap time of the race with a 19.75, and these two are in a world of their own from the rest of the field. The gap between Jake Boehm and third place Josh Cole is 1.6 seconds. So hopefully these two, by battling each other, by playing the cat and mouse game, they're not burning up their tires, so they'll still have something for the end of the race. We see Jake Boehm is peeking on exit, trying to find a way to get underneath that 07, and he thinks exit of the corner is going to be his best bet. So he's really got to have a good entry here so he can get back into the gas sooner than the 07. Because the goal, if you're trying to get somebody on exit here, you just got to try to be able to get into the gas sooner than them. And you also have to stay lower than them. And that combination can be tricky because getting into the gas sooner, if you have a not as well entry, that can cause you to push up, that can cause you to get up the racetrack, and you're not low enough to get underneath him. And there we go, Bame, looking underneath the 07 on entry. He's to his left rear, he's to his door. They are door to door off of turn number 2. Martinson still with the nose on the outside, trying to clear Jake Bame once again, but Bame staying on his left rear, almost made contact as they head off of turn number 4, and Bame will have to tuck in line and try to set it up again. Great job to Kyle Martinson for keeping that lead on the outside, not the preferred groove, and defending that first place spot, and he will continue to lead some more laps here. But Jake Bame has another good exit. He's trying to look underneath that 07 once again, not able to get underneath him on entry 1 and 2 here. But this battle very dicey. Lap number 32 of 100. We are a quarter of the way through this race here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And we continue to watch this cat and mouse game for the race lead. And these two, they continue to run away from the rest of the field. Jake Bame is about 3 seconds ahead of the third place guy. Again, a nice run off of turn number 4 for Bame, trying to get underneath that 07 on exit to set something up for 1 and 2. Bame has great exit speed, and we've seen him try to use it multiple times to get underneath that 07. But Kyle Martinson doing a phenomenal job being defensive, holding on to that third place spot. I don't know how much longer this can last, though, for this 07. Because if Martinson can continue to hold on to this race lead for the rest of this race and continue to be defensive and hang on to it and win, that would be extremely impressive for this 07, because he's facing a true challenge right now with that 18 all over his back bumper. And I think, too, what Martinson is hoping is if he's defensive and he can hold off the 18, and the 18 is pushing as hard as he can, he's hoping that Bame can burn off his tires, and sooner or later, he'll start fading from this battle, and Martinson can continue to run the same he has been. But, I mean, Bame, he's got 2 races this season. He knows how to get it done. He's a phenomenal tire saver. He's a phenomenal racer. He's done very well thus far this season. And he's trying to get by Josh Oswald for this point standings lead. Big run off of turn number 4 for Jake Bame. Almost got underneath the 07 there to his left rear. Not quite able to, though. So he continues to try to set up this pass on Kyle Martinson. With this green flag run, if we continue to stay green flag here, we may have to deal with lap traffic soon. And that could very well play a role in this battle for the race lead. I believe the first lap car they will catch is Devin Schmidt. I'm not sure exactly when they will catch him. Nice run for Bame. Almost got underneath the 07 off of exit of 4 there, but he continues to try to find the best way to get a good enough run to get underneath that 07. They continue to reel in lap traffic here. Bame, I mean, he's right there. The bottom is definitely open. I don't know if maybe Bame can afford to arc his corners a little bit more to get a little bit lower on exit. We'll see. But he is fighting tooth and nail to get by the 07. And they are catching this lap traffic sooner than later. Kyle Martinson, as he reels in these lap cars, he's hoping that they just go to the high side and let him by. But if you're a race fan, if you watch racing, you know that dealing with lap cars isn't always just that simple. Especially if there's a gaggle of them, which I see that there is a long line of lap cars. I believe it's about 4 that they're coming up on right now. 4 or 5, yeah. So Kyle Martinson hoping that Jake Boehm is not going to be able to use one of these lap cars as a pick. We see Boehm. Here we go. The lap traffic saga begins. Kyle Martinson trying to find a way to get by this 88 of Devin Schmidt. Ooh, a little bit loose off of turn number 2 there for Jake Boehm. There goes Martinson to the bottom, able to get underneath Rick Rube. Boehm following behind him. And right now, Jake Boehm, as Martinson works his way up through the lap traffic, he's waiting for him to slip up, and he's waiting for maybe an opportunity where Martinson is stuck behind a lap car, and he can get underneath him and use that lap car as a pick. That's kind of what Boehm is waiting for right now. Kyle Martinson being patient as he works his way up through these lap cars, doesn't want to cause any trouble. There he is. He's now looking underneath Devin Schmidt. Oh no! Kyle Martinson! Schmidt made contact! Martinson is around, and that is exactly how lap cars can change the course of this race. Wow. That is exactly what Jake Boehm wanted to happen right there. So we see Martinson coming off of turn number 2. We see that 08 a little bit squirrely off the corner. We see Martinson looking low into 3 and 4 to get underneath this 08. And it looks like Martinson, he pushes up into that 88, and the contact just gets that 07 upset. He goes around. Luckily does not hit the wall. But that is a crazy turn of events that we just saw there. So Jake Boehm, he now has the race lead. Kyle Martinson only fell to 3rd, so he is still right there and could take the lead back. I don't know if we're going to see an EOL given. But with Martinson falling to 3rd, that puts Josh Cole up to 2nd. So we'll see what happens here on this next restart. But definitely unfortunate for Kyle Martinson. It just looks like that lower entry that he took just caused that car to push way up the track into the 88 of Devin Schmidt there. We are officially past the halfway point of this race. What an eventful one it's been so far. That was our 2nd caution flag of the race. We've been mostly watching the battle for the lead that we were keeping our eye on between Jake Boehm, Kyle Martinson, with Martinson falling to 3rd now. This will shake things up a little bit on this next restart as Martinson tries to work his way back up to that 1st place spot that he held before the caution flag came out. Lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green. Jake Boehm restarts on the bottom. Josh Cole restarting on the top. Behind them, that's Kyle Martinson, Eric Tracy, and Tyler Rice. They make up your top 5. Pace car is in. And green flag is back out. There's Jake Boehm leading the field into turns 1 and 2. Martinson underneath Josh Cole as they head into turns 1 and 2. And Kyle able to get clear as they head up off of turn number 2. So now Martinson looking back underneath the 18 as they head into 1 and 2. Not quite able to get to that left rear. He is almost there, but he tucks in line right behind that back bumper of the 18. Got a side-by-side battle for third there between Eric Tracy and Josh Cole, but we see Martinson looking underneath Boehm as they head into 3 and 4. They're side-by-side. Martinson to Boehm's door. We see, oh, they make contact. They door each other. Martinson away down the racetrack. That costs him some much-needed momentum that he needed in that battle there. And he loses some time, or adds some time, and he's going to have to try to reel Jake Boehm back in there. The battle is still on for third side-by-side. Dylan Bates just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 19.61. Don't forget about that 91. He started on the pole. He's got a fast late model stock car tonight. He may just be saving tires right now, being patient, and he could be back up to the front of the field before you know it. Martinson trying to get back under the 18. He may be a little bit upset after we saw the contact. They doored each other on the front stretch. I don't know who believes was whose fault on that one. Oh, a little bit loose there off of turn number 4 for Jake Boehm. He's trying to save it. So there goes Kyle Martinson around his outside, and a little slip up off of 4. Cost Jake Boehm the lead as Kyle Martinson is up into that first place spot. Eric Tracy trying to pass Boehm on the outside as well. He's not able to as Boehm is trying to get back to that left rear of the 66. Eric Tracy clears Boehm now. So now Eric Tracy trying to reel in Kyle Martinson for this first place spot. He's looking low off of turn number 4. Tracy is right there. Don't count him out. He also has a fast late model stock. May have been saving tires as well. We see he's looking high, looking low, trying to see where Martinson is giving up that bottom last time by. We saw Tracy run his personal best lap time of the race. And he's still right there on Martinson, being patient as he sets up this pass here. But Kyle Martinson able to quickly get back up to the field from third and take that lead back that he lost after the contact with the lap car there, but could lose it again as the field is going to get bunched back up on another restart as the caution flag comes out. And the rough night for Jake Boehm continues. He lost the lead after losing his car off of 4. And here he is, trying to hold off Josh Cole for this race lead. And it looks like Cole just gets into the 18's back bumper heading into 1. That sends him sideways. Bringing out the third caution of the race. I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe if Boehm just kind of checked up into the corner more than Cole thought, or Cole just kind of sent it in, or he was trying to pull a bump and run and it just hit him harder than he thought. I don't know, but back under yellow flag, 65 laps down here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And Kyle Martinson leads the way of this 13-car field. Trying to grab win number 1 this season. Kyle Martinson, he doesn't run in all the races, but when he shows up, he is a tough competitor for sure. He did run last week at Langley, but he ended up crossing the line 6th by the end of it. So looking to try to improve that tonight by parking it in victory lane, and if worse comes to worse, hope to at least grab a podium. On this restart, watch out for Eric Tracy and watch out for that 91 of Dylan Bates. I think both of them are going to be fast here. I think they've been saving tires for a lot of this race, and they're going to try to reclaim those front 2 spots where they started this race. Because remember, Kyle Martinson started in 3rd. Bates was your pole sitter, and Tracy was outside pole. Lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green. Kyle Martinson restarts on the bottom. Eric Tracy on the top. Behind them, that's Bates, Josh Cole, and rounding at your top 5, look who snuck into it. That is Josh Oswald in the 17. Haven't really said his name too much today, but silently working his way up into the top 5. And Jake Bain, he's going to be coming up to the field pretty quickly, trying to regain the spots that he lost after that caution. Green flag is back out here at Nashville. Kyle Martinson up through the gears, heading into 1 and 2. Got a side-by-side battle for second. Bates with the nose on the bottom as they head off of turn number 2, but we see Tracy fighting back on the outside. He's got a nice run into 3 and 4, and Tracy continues to have the nose over Martinson as they take it off of turn number 4 and as they cross the start-finish line. And Tracy taking advantage of that new grip that's on the outside as of the most recent iRacing update. They really updated that outside lane. He gets up into that second place spot now, clearing Dylan Bates. So Bates now falls to 3rd, but he is not letting Tracy run away with this second place spot. He stays on the back bumper of that 66. Last time by, Kyle Martinson ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 19.59. That 07 looking very stout right now. But we continue to watch this battle for second. Bates all over the back bumper of that 66 as they head into 1 and 2. Just trying to see what he can do to make it by this 66. And there we go. We see Tracy tags the wall a little bit, so that cost him some momentum. We saw Bates thought about looking underneath him on entry 1, but he is continuing to stay behind him for the time being. And Bates is not only having to play offense as he tries to get by Eric Tracy, but he's also trying to play defense as he tries to hold off Josh Cole here. There goes Dylan Bates once again looking underneath Eric Tracy. He's able to get to his left rear, trying to get to his door off of turn number 4. They're side by side as they cross the start-finish line. Bates with the nose off the corner, and he clears them up off of 2. So now Dylan Bates setting his sights on your race leader, Kyle Martinson, trying to get back to where he started this race, because Dylan Bates was your pole sitter. Eric Tracy not letting Bates get too far ahead. He's continuing to stay on the back bumper of that 91, maybe trying to get that second place spot back here. 25 laps to go, 1 more quarter of this race left. Does anybody have anything for Kyle Martinson, who has looked great all race long? I think we're going to find out here in these next few laps. We're just going to see if Bates is going to be able to reel him in or not. Or is he just going to have to settle for second here? Because I know he's trying to push it as hard as he can to get to that 07, but I mean, Martinson has just had great pace all night long. And he's continuing to have to deal with Eric Tracy, who is not letting him get too far ahead. He's staying right there, fighting very hard to get back to second where he started this race. And Eric Tracy not only having to play offense, but he's also having to play defense, having to fight a battle on two fronts as Josh Cole is there as well. In that fourth place spot, putting some pressure on Eric Tracy. We're going to watch that right now. Josh Cole, big run through 3 and 4, getting closer and closer to that back bumper of the 66. Dylan Bates starting to catch Kyle Martinson a little bit for this race lead. 20 laps for Bates to decrease that gap and get to the back bumper of that 07 and get by him. But we've seen that Martinson is a great defensive driver. He was able to hold off Jake Boehm when he was contesting for that race lead earlier in this race. And oh, we got a caution flag out here. So this will stack the field back up. And looks like Jake Boehm's nightmare night continues. We see, oh, he gets onto the apron, and as soon as he does, that car gets all out of sorts. He's trying his best to save it. And looks like he was actually able to. He is able to save it on the backstretch. Because as he heads through 3 and 4, that car just looks all out of sorts. And just like he did coming off of 4 earlier when he was leading, we see Boehm just loses that car, and around he goes. So we see Boehm, he came into the pits. Devin Schmidt also down there, possibly getting some damage fixed. There's Aaron Ward getting one of his laps back. He went from 2 laps down to 1 lap down. So we're going to have less than 15 laps to go. So a little shootout to decide this race. And Dylan Bates, he was reeling in Martinson. The fact that he starts outside of him now. Can he get by him for this race win? Can he get back to first where he was coming to the green of this race at the start of it? Your pole sitter. Can he show that, hey, the fact that I was on the pole, the fact that I was the fastest car in qualifying, that was not a fluke. I'm the fastest car on the track. I can win this. That's what he's trying to show right now. But Kyle Martinson, he's looked good all race long. I mean, he looked good in qualifying, started in 3rd, but I mean, this race has really shown how stout this 07 is. He led majority of the first half of this race, he was able to hold off Jake Boehm, and then we saw the contact there with the lap car, sent him around. He fell to 3rd, got back up to 1st, and he's led this race ever since then. So here we go, a 13-lap shootout to decide a winner here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green. Kyle Martinson on the bottom. Dylan Bates on the top behind him. That's Eric Tracy, Josh Cole, and Josh Oswald rounding out your top 5. Pace car is in. And green flag is back in the air. 13 laps to go here at Nashville Fairgrounds, and we are door to door for first place. Our second place, Bates with the nose over Tracy. As we head into 1 and 2, he clears. And now Dylan Bates trying to reel in Kyle Martinson for this race lead for the win here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Last time by on that restart, Bates about a tenth faster than Kyle Martinson. But they still, man, nice run off of 4 for Dylan Bates. He's got great exit speed right now. He's getting off the corner so much better than that 07. Just got to also carry that onto that front stretch and also have a good entry. Because, I mean, to get by somebody who's running the same speed as you, I mean, you have to put together a great lap. A good entry, keep it on the bottom through the center, a nice exit, and then, of course, that exit will carry you down the straightaways. I mean, you just have to have perfect corners. 10 laps to go, now 9 as Martinson crosses the line. Time is running out for Dylan Bates to try to get this race lead. Eric Tracy continues to hold that third place spot. We see Josh Cole looking underneath him. We continue to keep our eye on this battle for first now. 8 laps to go as we watch Dylan Bates try to make it past Kyle Martinson here. Seven laps to go. Kyle Martinson has done a great job all race long being defensive, holding off whoever has tried to grab that lead from him. And he's hoping that this battle to finish this race with Dylan Bates is going to be no different. Oh! That changes everything. We are probably going to have a green-white checkered here as the yellow flag flies with 6 laps to go. And it looks like Aaron Ward involved in this incident. Here he is. He's got Devin Schmidt on his back bumper. Looks like he gets into him heading into 3 and 4, trying for the bump and run, because that gets Aaron Ward way up the racetrack, up into the marbles. Devin Schmidt gets up there too, and he hits him again. On the left rear. Followed him up there. Or he pushed up there. And that sends the 99 after he got into the back bumper. Not to mention he was up there in the marbles into that inside wall. And because of the fact that nobody's really been racing up there, yeah, there's all those marbles built up there. And you have way less traction all the way up against that wall. So any slight turn of the wheel or any tap from somebody behind you, if you're up there in the marbles, that's just going to get that car upset, and that's going to send you around. Same thing if you have those left side tires down there on the apron. There's all those marbles down there. Nobody's been down there. You don't want to be down there. And that just, yeah, breaks you loose. Like, the only time it's ever, I mean, out of all the short tracks that you're going to go to, the only time where you're ever really going to see people down on the apron is Langley in South Boston. Those are honestly the only 2 tracks on the schedule that I think you're really going to want to, that's where you're going to want to use the apron. You can maybe get down there on the bull ring, but I mean, it's really just Langley and South Boston, really, that you can make it work. I mean, everywhere else, it just, yeah, those marbles down there, you just lose so much traction and it breaks you loose. And That's what happened to Aaron Ward as he went around. Of course, he did have help from that 88 machine, but both of them were up there on the marbles. So yes, we are going to have a green-white checker to finish this race off. And I know Dylan Bates, he's got to give it all he's got here. Lights on the pace car off, getting ready to go back green. We got Kyle Martinson on the bottom, Bates on the top behind them. That's Eric Tracy, Josh Cole, and John Bennett. Josh Oswald there as well. This should be fun. I believe we will have 3 attempts. You know how a green-white checkered works. Here we go. Green flag is out. Here we go. Green-white checker to decide this thing. Bates keeping it on the outside of the 07, trying to stay on his right rear. But looks like Martinson able to clear him. Bates tucks in line in second, staying right on the back bumper of that 07. There they go. Into 3 and 4. Bates trying to set something up. He's got a big run off of turn number 2. He's to his left rear. He's underneath him. White flag is in the air. They remain side by side into 3 and 4. Looks like Martinson with a little bit of a nose on the outside. Oh, they door each other. That costs Bates some momentum. They remain door to door into 3 and 4, side by side, down to the line. This is going to be close. They stack up behind them. It's Bates. Dylan Bates gets the race win. Holy moly. What a finish. Wow. 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 Are you not entertained? Look at that. Oh, man. So there you go. They were side by side down to the line. We saw Bates with a little bit of a nose off the corner. They were dooring each other. And Bates squeaks it out. Those are the short track finishes. How did Josh Cole get to a third? Yeah, looks like on that restart. Let's see. He had to have gotten by Eric Tracy. Yeah, Josh Cole got by Eric Tracy on the outside there. So good finish there for him as well. We'll go ahead and pull up your results on the screen here. Let's go ahead with our driver interview. Starting off, let's go ahead and pull in your third place finisher out of Port Charlotte, Florida. Let's go ahead and talk to Josh Cole. Okay. Hey, Josh, this is Atlanta, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Awesome. Well, great run tonight here at Nashville Fairgrounds Parknet on the podium. I know we saw you were kind of running in the top 5 for a lot of tonight's event, just doing a good job, just keeping it up there, keeping it in the thick of things. And by the time that final green-white checkered came out, you know, you were running in that 4th place position right on the outside of Eric Tracy, and we saw just you were able to have great momentum on that outside on that green-white checkered and got by him by the time you got to that second lap on the green-white checkered and just carried it on to that start-finish line. But I mean, good run tonight. I mean, what was your takeaway from this race?
I guess just my first podium in this series. It's so hard. There's great competitors here, so I'm really glad I got the get in third place, and I actually if it stayed green, I don't think I could have caught in third, just because um, I just couldn't get no bite off. So I guess I'll take what I get. And then on that restart, they bottled up, so that gave me a little extra step in front of them.
Now, Nashville definitely has an aged surface that kind of tears up your tires a little bit. I mean, what was the key to saving tires tonight?
Uh, I seen everybody just drop back, and then I started passing a lot. I just followed the 18. And then I seen the '07 and 18, they were just battling. I seen the lap times, they were at like 19.8, 19.9, and I was like 20. So I was just literally letting off, and I was keeping, a look behind me and seeing that they were falling way back. So I was letting out way. So I feel like I saved a lot of tires by doing that. And then that was kind of my strategy. If I got that big of a lead, then once if it was stay green, then I could have just took off and tried to just chase them down. But we had some cautions that changed that strategy a little bit.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your podium?
Yeah, I want to thank Dave Roy's Landscaping because he helps me in my real life race car, and my wife and kids, because they're the reason, and then the man upstairs.
You said you race in real life. Where do you race? What do you race?
Race a pure stock in Florida. Our track at Charlotte County Speedway got shut down, so now we're traveling to Auburndale Speedway and then also the Freedom Factory.
Awesome. Well, good luck this season with your real life racing endeavors. Congrats on the podium tonight, Josh. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher. That is going to be Kyle Martinson. Kyle, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, buddy?
Doing good up here in the broadcast booth. It was close, but no cigar tonight here at Nashville Fairgrounds. I mean, you put together a great race. Started off in that third place spot. Were able to make it quickly by Dylan Bates for that lead. And I mean, you held on to it from there. You able to hold off Bame there when he was on your back bumper. We did see a little incident there with a lap car that set you back to third, but you quickly made your way back up to the field and you just continued to lead until we saw that final green-white checkered where you had to hold off Bates and he just got underneath you there through 3 and 4 and you were kind of just dooring each other to the start-finish line, and it was very, very close, but he just beat you to the line. I mean, what was your take on this race, and I mean, what's your take on the finish?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think if maybe I didn't get involved in that wreck with the lap car, I think I might have had a little bit more tire hold done because I got sideways pretty good. And with this tire model, one mistake like that can ruin your race, especially if you want to win. So, but it's all good. I had a bunch of fun. It was cool to lead a bunch of laps. I'm really not so good in this car. At least I don't think I am. I haven't really had much success in it. So it felt good to find a little speed with tire saving and stuff, and even be able to hang on with Dylan there at the end because I know he was really saving. So I don't know. I guess he did something right tonight, but hats off to him. That was a lot of fun.
Now, I mean, Nashville definitely one of the most difficult tracks on the schedule. I mean, the turns are very interesting. I mean, especially with how bumpy they are with this aged surface. I mean, what's the key to tackling these corners? I mean, especially with how bumpy this track is.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's one of my favorite tracks on the service. I feel like you just gotta hit the bump square on. And you kind of just use the banking to kind of help you get up in that second groove, and then you try not to steer your wheel too much and just get up to the wall and straightaways. I don't know. That's all I got to say. Really, just not moving the steering wheel much. All you can do, I guess.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Just gotta thank all my teammates at Velocity, and thank you, Atlee, for broadcasting, and thanks for Josh putting the series on.
Well, again, congrats on the runner-up tonight, Kyle. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, man. You too.
Thank you. And now let's pull in your winner, grabbing his first win of the season in dramatic fashion. Let's talk to Dylan Bates. Dylan, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
I gotcha.
Awesome. Well, what a win tonight here at Nashville Fairgrounds, putting on a show and grabbing win number 1 of the season. I know you started on the pole, and I saw you kind of right away. You started to just not put up too much of a fight for the positions as people got by on them. And I knew right away, I could kind of tell that you were really trying to save those tires, and you just continue to save, kind of keeping it in the 5th, top 5 kind of range. And eventually we saw you start to work your way back up through the field, and you're able to get to 2nd on that final green flag run and got to the outside of Martinson by the time to that final green-white checkered, and you just stayed there behind him until you finally had a nice exit, got underneath him, and you were door-to-door to the line and just were able to squeak it out in dramatic fashion with that race win. So, I mean, walk us through your race, walk us through your win, and, what was going through your head on that last green-white checkered?
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. You described it well. This car is so sensitive when it comes to saving tires, so you really got to be careful on them and easy on them, especially at a track this big where you're carrying so much speed. You'll just melt the right front off of them, and saving tires puts you in a dangerous place. It puts you back in the middle of the field, and I feel like I had a race taken from me at the beginning of the year at North Wilkesboro from saving tires and then trying to get back up through there. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You try to stay alive, but try to save your tires at the same time, and tonight it just worked out. I thought I had a little bit more than Kyle in that last green-white checker, so yeah, I just waited for him and made the right move to cross over, and then leaned on each other a little bit across the finish line. It was a lot of fun.
Man, no, that was definitely a great finish for sure. I mean, what do you think is that you did kind of better than everybody else that put you where you needed to be?
I don't know if it's one certain thing, but I definitely was going a lot slower than the leaders at one point. I remember hearing the spotter rattling off lap times, and at one point I was going a 1.5 seconds slower than Jacob Boehm and Kyle Martinson at one point. So you just really got to be easy on them and just choose the right lap when to go, and I got lucky and chose the right lap.
Now, before we let you go, Dylan, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, man, just all the guys at VMS Motorsports, Velocity Motorsports, Josh Oswald, of course, and Josh for putting this race on. You for announcing, man. You did a great job.
Thank you. Always fun to broadcast the series, and what a finish tonight. So congratulations on the win. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Well, that will do it for tonight's event. One more time, congratulations to Dylan Bates on his first win of the late model season. I want to give a big thank you to all of the league admins, Daniel Pope, Josh Oswald, Sam Wetstein, Shannon Wilder, Jason Warren, William Griffith. Thank you to all of them for all that they do for this league. I want to give a big thank you to series sponsor, SamAllyCo, for all that they have done for this series. Make sure to go visit their Etsy store. The link is in the description and browse a vast collection of unique and expressive items. If you use promo code ATMAN10, you get 10% off your order. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And make sure to check out our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. There, I mean, that's our merch store. And I mean, we've got everything on there. We do custom printing, got a lot of cool racing merchandise, and so much more. We got all of our Intensity apparel if you want to represent our broadcasting company. Definitely check it out, intensitybroadcasting.com. Now, turn on your notification bell. Next week, we will be at Myrtle Beach for some more white knuckle short track racing with these late model stock cars. Definitely don't want to miss that. Myrtle Beach, always a fun track from my experience announcing short track racing here on iRacing. So, bell. I'm Atlee Atman-Weiss, and on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team, thank you so much for watching, and we